Hello there, Math 126 fans. This is part 2 of my 15-1 lecture. What I typically do in class is I tell students to pick one of these problems for us to discuss. This is 6, 7, and 8 from the homework. They're more about reviewing integration. So I will make a few little comments about them and hope that you ask me follow-up questions on the discussion board. But I also wanted to point out, something here that I posted this term. This is a little primer. This is what you'll find on Canvas. It's in our modules. These are all videos you can find on my channel. But mostly what students kind of get worried about is integration. You can get by with just watching these 3 short integration videos if you're worried. These are the only 3 problems in the 15-1 homework that require you to do more than just this first step, which is to know your basic table of integrals. I think 2 of these require substitution. 1 of them requires integration by parts. Those are really things we should know well. But sometimes when students get in that, they're like, oh no, I don't remember any integration. And so I decided to just make something a few quarters ago that fully reviews them in a short amount of time. It'd be better to sort of remember, but if you need to get by, here's something to help you. Okay, so let's look at a few things here. And I'll get this out of the way. Apologies here. Okay, so these questions, and then we'll talk about, I think the number 8 is the most interesting. When I look at this, what I see is the variable is y. And so I think for a moment, sometimes if it's really hard for you to see, replace the x with 1. So right now in my head is, I need to figure out how to integrate something that looks like this. And if you know how to integrate something like that, then whatever technique you would use there, you're going to use up here. You should recognize that technique is substitution because you have a function, a y squared function, and a y function on the outside, a function and its derivative. So those same skills from 125 come into play. If that's fuzzy to you, then you really need to watch my review of substitution. But my very first step here would be to have u be the inside, remembering that y is the variable and x is a constant, and then du would be 2y dy. There's students that learn all sorts of different ways to substitute in there. This isn't necessarily the best way, but it's the way if I'm having to give someone a quick refresher, what I typically do, which is I tell students to take an extra step and solve for dy. I personally just try to make it match up, but if you want a way that doesn't require thinking, you replace this with u, and you replace dy. If all the y's go away, then you've been successful. This is the moment in your math career where if you have not learned to change the bounds as you go, your life's going to start getting harder. So I'm going to change everything up there and see what happens. So I'm going to have the integral from 0 to 1 dx. That doesn't change, but everything else changes. Okay, so what do I mean by everything changes? These are talking about y's. So I say when y is 0, what do we get? And this is when some students get really mad. You don't have to, you can change back at the end, but this will make your life easier. Okay, and then we're going to change everything else. 6xy, square root of u, 1 over 2y du. If all the y's go away, you've been successful, which happens. And we get the integral from 0 to 1 of 3. If you want to take the x out, you can. You can't take it all the way out. Sometimes I say the variable can't escape itself, so to speak. So it can't escape dx. All of this is together. But it can escape dy. Okay, so this is going to be u to the 1/2 du. Now it is something I know how to do in my table. I'm going to take it a little further and then allow students to finish it. So it's going to be u to the 3/2. There's going to be a 2/3. Remember the rule is to add 1 to the power and then it should be flipped out in front. It's going to be x squared. It's going to be x squared plus 1 dx. When you're done integrating the inside, you should only have x's left. So let's see if that happens. So first I'm going to put all these numbers together. That's just a 2. So 2, the integral from 0 to 1 of x. And then I'm going to have x squared plus 1 to the 3 halves minus x. So again, I'm just plugging this in here. X squared to the 3 halves. Whew. It's a big one. Now what? So I like to get students started, because some students that's just like beyond them, but I'm saying you can do this. Now what I see is an integral that I can immediately do. Why can I immediately do this? Because this is just x cubed times x. So this is x to the 4th. Whenever I see an integral I can immediately do, I separate them. What do I mean by that? So I would have negative 2, so I distributed the 2, and I would say I know how to do that. What I don't know how to do is this one. So this really is, in some ways, the hardest of this group, because there's a couple different things you had to do. So I'm going to leave it there. I would claim that this one we're almost done with, but this one's going to require another method. Ooh, there's an x squared and an x. So that is a big problem, but it is good to do some like this because I think it hones your skills a little bit. This one doesn't tell you which order, and so you're going to pick. In this case, both choices are correct, so I would just kind of in my head be thinking, well, what would I prefer to integrate first? Typically, I'd like to prefer to integrate the thing that's easier to integrate. If I do this, it's going to be dy dx because the y is on the inside, or I could do it the following way. 3xy squared, x squared plus 1, dx dy. And so my choice would just be what will be easier to integrate. And at first glance, to me, that looks easier to work with than all of this. So I kind of would like to have the dy on the inside. In fact, just for the look of it, to show you that this is allowed, all of this you could think of as a coefficient. So from the right perspective, this is what you're getting. That's what I would vote for. So we have the integral from 0 to 3, 3x. The other way probably works too. 1/3 y cubed, and there's other things I could say here, but I'm trying to give you sort of the principles here. So this is a 2, this is a negative 2, the integral from 0 to 3 of 3x squared, x squared plus 1, 1/3, and 2 cubed is 8, and negative 2 cubed is negative 8. So you gotta be careful with your numbers. You get 16, the 3's cancel, the integral from 0 to 3. And I might have made a mistake here. Again, I'm not trying to compute it all out. Don't completely trust me. But at this moment, that falls into another substitution problem. Okay, so like I said, I usually do a couple of those in class just to get you back, get your juices flowing on integration. This is the one I always talk about as one you get to kind of think about. It's not maybe an obvious substitution or an obvious start, because when I look at the two options, which would be, one would be 0 to 4, again that's referring to x, 0 to 1, this is one way to think about it. Another way to think about it is this way, 0 to 4, 4x over 1 plus xy, dx dy. And to me, neither one looks that appetizing. The positive here is there's only one y, and there's a couple x's. And so just for that reason alone, I feel like I want to do this one. But I find students don't remember what to do there sometimes and don't realize it's in our table. What do I mean by in our table? If you look through our table of integrals, there's one thing that looks like this, which we know fairly well. What happens if you tweak the denominator and make it like 5x plus 7? how does it change? Now in my table of integrals, I have that included. I list it as ax plus b, and I write down what the answer is. Now in general, if you didn't remember this or didn't have my table, you would do a substitution, and you end up getting 1 over 5, the log of 5x plus 7 plus c, or in general 1 over a, the log of ax plus b plus c. So you can do a substitution to try this. U equals 5x plus 7, and realize you get the same thing. Okay, that's the sort of stuff you have to do if you're stuck. Now it's not x, it's y. Y is like our variable, so let's replace a few things. It's as if I have a y here. So what's the rule? Okay, that's fine. And it's as if the x is like my a. So it's really, this is the first step, is so critical to this, or you're in trouble. So the 4x doesn't matter, it's a coefficient, but you need a 1 over x. And if you don't write that, you're kind of in trouble right from the get-go. And y goes from 0 to 1, dx, and it's just sort of a hooray moment there that those cancel. And so you get the integral from 0 to 4. In my case, there's this extra 4, so I'll pull it out. Log of 1 plus x minus log of 1 plus 0. And that's just 0. Now you get to do your integration by parts. This is a class. Integration by parts is really good for products, logs, and inverse trig. Okay, so there's a few integration review. I hope that's helpful.